And even some people came and wanted to understand whether they were, I mean, not dreaming. So even they tried to touch Porimoni. They became so emotional with her. Porimoni is a girl of beauty. She's 28 years old. She was from actually Satkira, but as she lost her mother before 3 years of age, and the mother was burned to death, and it was intentional. The local people say that Porimuni's father himself set her on fire, made a drama just to prove that he did not kill her. So, can you imagine that her mother died maybe in between 2.5 years and 3 years in between? Even Purimoni said that before 3 years of her age, her mother died. And it was because of fire. She was burned to death. And was it burned by her father? There's a confusion, but it's almost right, because the local people say in such a way it tells that her mother was actually set on fire by Porimoni's own father, and it was at an age when she was too young, so she could not stay there longer. Even her father died not far from that time. So she became an orphan, and she was taken to Pirozpur, where her grandfather lives. Still, he's alive. It's a very good piece of information that her grandfather is still alive, and she loves him so much. He loves her so much, and she can't think without her grandfather. It means her simplicity. She's such a towering personality. She's such a beautiful lady. In every way, she's smart. She's popular. Every way, she's a towering personality. Still, she takes care of her grandfather. It's so natural relationship between them. So Porimoni's grandfather is a great evidence. He keeps saying that Porimoni doesn't do anything for him herself. She does whatever she does for others. He mentions that she sacrificed number of cows. I mean, in the Eid al-Azha, yeah, in FDC. So it's well known to everybody, but the way he tells says that she's such a good girl. And if you look at the teachers, those who taught her in her primary school, in her high school, they all are in praise of her. They never actually saw anything wrong with her. And even there was a private tutor, he has a pharmacy there. He talks so good of Purimoni. He even tells people that save her. It's a kind of mistake. He doesn't guarantee, he says that the things he saw while teaching her at home, the way he saw her in the locality, every way it says that she was a very good girl. And lady teachers also came forward and they talked about Porimoni. They even mentioned that she got a scholarship, talent pool scholarship in class 5. You can't imagine such a good student she was. That's why she got scholarship in class 5 talent pool scholarship. At that time I did not get, and people, that's very rare, right? It's too difficult. It was such a difficult exam, and she got the scholarship because of her losing parents and because of her extreme beauty. She is different. She may have double standards. It's true that she takes wine, she so many other things. The thing is that something serious there inside this story. Confusion pervades. I can't imagine who is right. The most likely that she has very few faults. She has not committed any crime. But the thing is that she should not have sued uh, Nasir. That was a kind of mistake, probably. Something happened that was really serious. That's why she could not control herself. When uh, Nasir was caught by police, was taken to the police station, he told in a way that tells that he was right. The way he told the information that had happened in that night tells me that he was telling the truth. And the way Porimoni cried, wept a lot, shouted, and she expressed her words, she was burst into shouting and crying, and she's in a way acted. People troll about her that she was a great actor, not just in film industry but also in practical life. I understand, but still you have differences between crocodile tears and real tears. So sometimes it's difficult to figure out which one is crocodile's tears and which is real. That's true. So, and the other thing is, my friend Shithil, he is my junior. I passed SSC from pilot school in '89, and he passed many years later from that school. And as I'm an expert in share market, I took care of his uh, business in share market. And as he, I mean, got a good amount of profit when he was visiting India for official tour. He called me from India and said that he would buy something for me as a gift, like that. So different times I talked to him, I found that he's a very good man. Everything is fine with him, but at the same time, as the investigation officer, the topmost investigation officer, he got involved in the life of Porimoni. So it's not good. It's true that Porimoni should not have done it. Neither should Shithil have done it. True. But it also means that Porimoni is a kind-hearted girl. She was actually every time hankering after love and care, especially because she could not get the love from her parents, especially her mother. I tell you a story. When I was teaching at Northern University, one student was hiding his face, and a lot of, I mean, waste was getting out of, or a lot of tears were rolling down, and lot of tears I can't express properly. Such a good student, such a good boy. At the same time, he cried a lot. It's because when I was talking about some poetry, and there was a reference to a mother. As he lost his mother in his childhood, he felt so emotional that he burst into tears. It was a horrible, horrible experience that I had. In the classroom, he just bent his head, he hid his head and face, and lots of tears were rolling down the bench. It was such a pathetic, I mean, view that I had at that time. And one day, someone asked for some help, some person to get blood for, and when he got his blood group matched with the patient, he jumped up and he told me, "Sir, Anna, join there, Anna, give my blood. I'd like to donate blood." So what I understand is that someone who lost his or her mother in particular has lost everything. So Porimoni has lost everything. So if you talk about Sheikh Hasina and her family, you see most of them were brutally killed in 1975, including her father and so many others. Somehow Sheikh Hasina and Rihanna were in Germany, actually with Sheikh Rihanna's husband. He had the scholarship studying there, whatever. So the thing is that she felt emotional and she cannot forget this. So the most horrible thing in someone's life is the loss of a mother and a father at a very early age. She couldn't forget, true, but still Porimoni acts like she has forgotten. When someone talks about her mother or father, it sounds like that. She doesn't want to talk about it. It means she cannot bear the sorrows, the pangs, the difficulty, the missing things. One other story I'd like to tell. Adnan was our friend in Dhaka, and his brother was in America, and somehow he had a terrible road accident and he died there. And he was so much upset that he did not let us know that he lost his elder brother who was studying in America. So what happens? What makes him mom? It's because he doesn't want to remember what happened to his brother. So the similarly, what I see is there are horrible things inside Porimoni's mind, and now that is emotional, that is imaginary, right? But now Porimoni is in real trauma. In practical world, she's suffering that much, especially when you imagine living in a jail. For an ordinary person, living behind bars is not that painful as compared to the pain that a celebrity like Porimoni gets. Horrible, right? Porimoni's house and the jail room that she lives in. Can you imagine? It's too horrible. The light while sleeping and the AC while she's sleeping, and the toilet especially. I remember when I come from Dhaka with my daughter and wife, I see that when in the middle she has the urge for natural call. We tried best to have her use some toilet beside, right? But she could not do it. It's because she's not habituated of that kind of unsmart, ugly, dirty toilet. So here the same thing happens. Porimoni cannot actually, and her lawyer also has said that her status doesn't permit the dilapidated, dirty environment in the jail. It's absolutely horrible. She must be terrified. And yesterday, when another day for, I mean, interrogation was published, she felt so bad. She has already been sick. And yesterday, she stumbled. She fell while two female police officers or police uh, ladies were holding her hands. So everywhere it's horrible, right? Even when I mean, she's at fault, or even when, if I think that she is a criminal or whatever. So it's really impossible for her to stay healthy in a dilapidated, in a dirty environment, especially when she needs to use toilet. Can you imagine one who has the most standard living room, living space, CD, internet, all these amenities, AC, remote control, so many things, right? And all of a sudden she's landed in a jail. And you understand, she did not get the priority in the beginning. One who is sentenced is doesn't get priority. That's why she was a normal uh, prisoner, right? She was imprisoned, and her cell for living is an ordinary one. And lot of people share the same toilet, lot of people in the same room, and there are things that are really horrible. So one other story I'd like to say, Sonda Muni, a good singer. She was my classmate when I was studying in intermediate at a new government degree college. Science sections were two. I was in the B section and she was in the A section. And when she married, it was a love affair. Later, many things happened, and she had to stay in a jail for over a month. And she expressed her horrible story. Even in the dal, you have different insects and all this stuff, and it was not possible for her to stay, but still she could not bear, and the mosquitoes and every other thing. So I don't know much about Porimoni's, I mean, cell, but what I understand is that as she is not considered special uh, prisoner, she is an ordinary prisoner right now. So far as I know, she must have shared the same toilet. She must be sharing the same things with so many. And you understand, such a beautiful actress, everybody must be crazy. As I told that Sakline, my friend, the main, I mean, police investigator, he could not control himself. He fell in love with her, or at least he developed a very nice relationship with her for over a long period of time, or whatever. So temptations, right? So when she lands in a jail, the other people must be absolutely curious, very much touchy, right? So the more people love her, the more she must feel very bad. Because when you see a flower, what happens? You smell it, you look at the flower, it's so beautiful, whatever, that's fantastic. But if you go and touch it, and if you pluck the flower, what will happen? The, the, the flower will dry away, wither away. So this is deadly, this is killing. So everything is killing Porimoni. I don't say that she was innocent. I don't say that the things going on with her are our fault. I don't say anything about it. It's up to the place, it's up to the judgment, the court, the law. That's different. But what I'm telling is that the environment that she belongs to is absolutely diametrically opposite to the environment she has been in. So it's traumatizing. She must be traumatized with the environment. If someday she gets out of bail, and she may express her ideas, how she has felt in the jail, you'll understand how horrible it must have been. So whatever, a criminal must be punished, but it's very difficult. Even when allegations against her are right, she's not a criminal. Even the police officer, the police commissioner said that, how can you convict? Because she may love, she has her personal choice, and Sakline has also his personal choice. That's different. But the thing is that Sakline is the investigation officer. She is going to find fault with Porimoni if there is any. He must find out whether Porimoni is good or bad or whatever. And if he falls in love with her, if he lives with her, then justice is denied. So, but the confusion is not going away, it's hovering over my head like nothing as confusing as this one is. But my understanding is that she's been a very popular girl. She's been the best, the most beautiful girl. She's amiable. She helps others. There are a lot of evidence that tells that she has been very loving to others. She has been very caring to others. When she went to her country, after the first film released with Zaid Khan, she flew to her grandfather's house that is at Pirozpur by helicopter. And even some people came and wanted to understand whether they were, I mean, not dreaming. So even they tried to touch Porimoni. They became so emotional with her. And a lot of people have been interviewed by a lot of YouTubers, and it says that he's been a fantastic girl. She has never boastful. She has never been arrogant. In an interview, she says that she gets angry. It happens. So many people, yeah, get angry. I get angry. Everybody gets angry. But some people maybe are more impulsive than others. That's why there's difference. It's true. But confusion. If you look at Porimoni's grandfather, what he says, you will feel quite very much, I mean, sympathized with Porimoni, because he tells that Porimoni has done nothing for her. She has done everything for others. And if you listen to the story of her mother being burned to death by Porimoni's own father at the age of 2.5 or a little before 3 years of her age, and after some time, maybe some 1 or 2 years, or I don't know, her father also died. So can you imagine, can she tell this story that her mother was burned to death by her father? She lost her mother at a very young age. At the same time, she lost because her own father killed her, not just by firing, but by burning her, setting her on fire. That's horrible. So Sheikh Hasina's family destroyed. That's horrible. That's much more horrible. I understand. That's uncomparable in the history of world history. You may see in the history of Bangladesh, you think that the way Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was burnt, I mean, was fired to death, shot dead, and many other members, most of them, even Sheikh Hasina and Sheikh Rehana, could have been killed in that coup, in that assassination, the same way. Fortunately, they were outside Bangladesh. They were in Germany with Sheikh Rehana's husband for study purpose. Etc. So it's uncomparable. But if I talk about Porimoni's, I mean, mother, parents, it's different. It has different dimension, because her father killed her when she was little less than 3 years of age. And that girl, it was a little bit lucky that she got a good grandfather. She got a good, I mean, aunt and aunts, especially one aunt she calls her mom, mother, and she loves her grandfather. Her grandfather is a simple man, right? Ordinary man. But she doesn't forget him. She even doesn't celebrate her birthdays without the presence of her grandfather. It does mean that she's so simple, and simple means great. So if you look at her things, you'll find that she's a naive, a nice, a beautiful, an expert. Every way she's been perfect. But unfortunately, because of lot of temptations, there must have been temptations. If she really drinks a lot, maybe. If she has other problems, as have been discussed by different media, what I say is that it's all because of temptations. the I mean surrounding people, those who have a lot of money, industrialists and greedy people, nasty people, they have offered a lot of money, or she go with, I mean, she went abroad with us. There are things I don't know. These are not verified information. That's important. But still, what I guess is that she may have made these problems. If she has, then the thing is that it's all because of the temptations she could not avoid. It's really very tough to avoid such, I mean, serious temptations. And she is a single girl, you understand. She married when she was maybe seven, I mean, in class nine or something like that. Local people say, and it was not a love affair, it was an arranged marriage, and she had been very much interested in film media or whatever, in showbiz or things. And this is how the separation, she could not stay with him, whatever. And for a long time, she's been alone. She has every wealth, she has fame, she has property, she has money, she has a, I mean, a special living standard, right? And in such a place, and in, if you look at the upper society, they do not that much care about these things. Her dresses are a little bit naked, but these are in my eyes naked, in your eyes naked, but these are not in her eyes naked. These are natural. Let me tell one story. I was working at WHO, and Alice Pope is the American coordinator, and I was a Bangladeshi coordinator, and I took her to a cinema hall. That's the best cinema hall, Modumita in Dhaka. There I showed one film, Bangla film, and I translated her into her ears so that nobody hears, nobody is disturbed. And when we got out of the cinema, what happened? She told her, why this film is so vulgar. I was surprised that a Bangladeshi film is full of vulgarity. Is it possible? An American lady says it's. Later I understood that, oh, when I look at a girl in a bad way, that is vulgar. That's vulgarity. When a girl takes care of her body in a way, she's conscious, she's, I mean, taking care of her own a lot of times and doing this, that, so many things. She shows that she's trying to hide her body, right? So it's visible when a girl is visibly taking care of her dress just to avoid boys, men. It is vulgarity in the eyes of American society. So when I saw one drama, she and her actor were dancing, and at one time the hero touched her in this way, and she was angry, and she left the Olna and went inside the room. When he saw that, oh, she became angry. But before getting inside the room, she dropped her own. It means she wants him to be with her in bed. So this is vulgarity. So invisibly vulgarity, but visibly not. But in Western culture, what I see is that visibly vulgarity, maybe not inwardly. They dress up the way they should. They think. If you go to Bandarban while working with WHO, I visited a number of places in Bandarban. I saw that women did not wear tops, they were bare breasted. So it's because it's their culture, it's the Hilly culture, right? They don't find anything sexuality, they don't find any vulgarity in it. It's the way of their living, it's the culture that they belong. So culture is different, right? In terms of Islam, it's a violation of Islam. It's absolutely true. A girl must cover her beautiful parts of her body. It's important. There are things I don't want to discuss about it. That's different. I am not the judge whatever. I'm none here. I'm just to share with you the ideas that are hovering over my head. I'm confused whether Porimoni is innocent, whether she is alleged falsely, whether she has been alleged in a proper way, whatever. Even when she is, I mean, even when she is at fault, even when she was the criminal or whatever. I don't want to say this. Still, what I understand is that her standard and her standard in jail is horrible. So you have to be careful so that you can't get into this situation. We have to learn from this incident that living in a peaceful way, in a happy way, is quite easy, even without a lot of money, even without so many other fames and glory and everything. So it's good to be in peaceful living, in peaceful environment. We should try our best not to go for violence, not to disturb others. There's one thing here, disturbance. If you look at, she doesn't disturb anybody. That's what we know. What she does is she feels good when she drinks. That's not good either. And she has no father and mother and no husband and no children, nothing. That's why she falls in love with one man or the other. I don't know. So whatever. The thing is that we are not perfect. We must have our faults, and faults must be also corrected. And if I do something wrong with other, I must be punished. This is also true. Justice is important. Law is important. I have to respect law. Even Socrates knew that he was not at all a criminal. He must not have been sentenced to death by, hemlock, Jews, whatever. So the thing is that she could have fled away. People suggested him to flee away to avoid the death, but he did not. He said, even when the law is incorrect, unjustifiable, unjustifiable, still we have to respect law. So whatever the law says must be respectable. We must respect it. Everything is fine, but we should also understand that her standard is different. So she should have a little, some more advantage in the imprisonment, whatever. And if we see Shakib Khan, he's been so much properly discussing the good sides of Porimoni, the injustice that has been done by the FDC, film industry, the body, the president, the secretary of FDC, the cultural committee, like that. And I have also discussed in other videos about all these things. So this video is so long. I'm sorry for that. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.